I need to make $18,000 to $23,000 a month just to pay my bills. And today's one of those rare days where I'm the one driving the van, I'm working, and I'm actually gonna plumb today. And I say $18,000 is like $18,000 is the minimum to like just pay my bills. And a lot of you are probably like gonna be like, "What the fuck? You're probably lying." Like, but when you add like gas, insurance, software, van payments, all these little stuff that adds material, on average, I need to make $18,000 to break even. $23,000 if I want to pay myself something, which that's like $5,000 a month. What is that? 60K a year. It's like $20, $30 an hour. So if I want to pay myself $20 an hour, $30 an hour, I need to make 23. But if you look at the amount of hours I work, I'm not working 40 hours. So if you divide it by on average 80, 70, 80 hours a week, I'm probably making what, like $10 an hour. But capacity for me is around like 80, $90,000 a month. So that's called capacity, where I could potentially, with my tools and equipment, I could make $80,000 a month. But for me, I gotta make at least $18,000 just to pay my bit, just to keep the lights on. And that's one of those things that people don't understand, especially right now with gas going up and everything going. Those numbers kind of don't go away. They're called fixed costs, and it's like whether you have a month that you do 100K or a month that does 0K, you still have that you still have to pay that $18,000 a month, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. And one of the best persons I like to watch a video, and I did a coaching call with him like what, a year ago, 2 years ago, was Mike Andes, and he runs a show called Business Turnaround, where he goes to people and he goes and looks at the people's business, and then you realize, dude, everyone is fucking is like in debt heavily. Yeah, your boss could have 20 trucks, but he's like, he hasn't paid himself. He hasn't been able to. On the outside, it looks badass. He's like, damn, this guy's doing good. He has 20 company trucks. But in the inside, you realize, he's been taking out mortgage loans, equity lines off his house. He's been borrowing money from everyone. And he's like, he could barely make payroll. And that's the thing. Like, when I run a one-man operation like I do myself, you can make pretty fucking good money. Like, not gonna lie. That's like always the worst case scenario, right? So the worst case scenario is like everything dies down, and then I go back to on the field and then start making pretty good money. And since I'm a pretty good tech, then I make pretty good money. But the problem is where people want to grow. You want to grow and start a bigger company and make a brand and have employees, and that's where everyone gets stuck on. Like, I want to be the guy with 20 trucks. Obviously, you could be the guy with 20 trucks and make less money than a guy that's one guy and a helper. It's crazy because, like I said, once you start adding costs, you're like, now instead of one fucking van payment, you gotta worry about 20 fucking van payments. So the numbers really don't make sense, and that's why, like, I know a lot of people are always thinking about like growing a big ass company, but if you really look at the data, you're like, dude. And then the last like 3-4 years I've been doing that, like growth mode. I've been growing. I've been buying pro press guns. Now I'm like, fuck, I have, how many pro press guns do I have? I have like 3 pro press guns, and I'm like, pro press guns don't make money if they're just sitting in the vehicle. And that's how it's even easier for a bigger company to go bankrupt, because you're like, hell yeah, I've been doing all this in sales, so I bought 20 vans, and then now you got 20 fucking vans sitting in the parking lot because no one wants to pay your ridiculous price. Also, when you start growing, you got to charge more. Like, when I'm running a one-man operation, I could go maybe do a little job for $200-$300. You're like, worst case scenario, instead of me making $10 an hour with all the work I'm making, I'm actually making $40-$50 an hour. So you're like, hell yeah. So you're actually making a decent living when you're running a one-man crew. And that's where you see all those fuckers on Instagram, on TikTok. They're like, come and be a plumber with me. Today I make $5,000. Today I made $3,000. Also, when you only got to worry about yourself, you can set the price. You're like, I'll take this job, or fuck off, because you hit capacity. Once you hit capacity, your price goes up. You're like, dude, I'm too busy. So you could afford to turn away work. You're like, dude, fuck off. I'm way too busy. But once you start growing, you're like, fuck, I got 5 guys to feed. I got 10 guys to feed. I can't. You gotta be more strategic on the price. Like, you gotta know your numbers. And that's what a lot of things that people don't understand. Where I look at my growth, I'm like, fuck, gas prices changing really fucked it up. Like, I could see in 1 month gas, because like I said, I run my data I'm always looking at my numbers. In 1 month, people stopped paying me through credit cards. PayPal was like, what the fuck is going on, dude? And I was like, because there's a 3% fee when you pay through credit cards. People were like, fuck that. I'm not going to pay a 3% fee. They wrote me checks. So for 1 month, people didn't even pay me through debit cards, credit cards. And all they were doing is giving me checks. That's how I knew. I was like, damn, this is going to fucking suck. Luckily, this month, like, people are turning around and starting paying through credit cards. But like I said, costs went up. So, like, probably I was saying my number, it was 18 grand. That's past data. Like, the new number, once the new data runs up, probably for me to stay in business, like, the real number is now going to be like 23,000 on the low end and 30 on the high end, like, to pay myself, because everything just fucking went up again. Gas goes up, material goes up, everything goes up, so all the numbers get readjusted. And then once you raise your prices, because you're like, everything fucking went up, you're also going to get rejection now. People are going to be like, dude, you're way too fucking expensive. I can't afford you. And I'm like, I can't even charge less because everything just went up. So it's a vicious cycle of like why people can't get out of the van. And that's what they said, like, getting stuck in the fucking van and not being able to grow your business because you don't know like the exact numbers. And or you stay on growth mode, and I could grow this fucking bitch and keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. But then, like I said, then you get to a point where you have 10 fucking vehicles just sitting there where I'm at, where I'm like, fuck, I had 3 Pro Press guns, which is good. Which is when we get a big job and we have capacity, we're hitting peak efficiency. Everyone has a Pro Press gun. No one's waiting for a Pro Press gun. Everyone's working and we're producing. But if sales drop and it has nothing to do with you because the economy is doing bad, then you're just stuck with all this equipment that you can't really do anything with it because no one's building, no one's hiring, no one can afford you, because maybe they could have done their bathroom remodel for 10 grand, but now because everything went up, now it's at 14, 15 grand. So everyone eats it right now. And like I said, I could see the data. Everyone's slow to pay right now. Everyone's just rejecting work because they're like, fuck, it's too expensive now. My cost is going up because everything's going up. So, like, my price is going up. I have to. It's just basic math. So that's why it's very hard for people to so-called get out of the van, because the numbers always fucking change. There's so many variables, and like I said, a lot of people like chase that dream of like, damn, I want to have 20 trucks, but dude, it's like the chances of you doing that is like 2%, and then the chances of you even surviving 5+ years is like 10, 20, 30%, you know. So I mean, like I said, the worst case scenario, like, you could always be a plumber with one vehicle and you're just driving around and doing plumbing work, and then you get your customers like I do right now. Like, one of my customers, you build the customers that like that they know you know. I mean, let's say you have 100 customers. Obviously, those 100 customers are not going to always need a plumber, but maybe 5 of those customers a year need plumbing. And then, but now, like, you keep doing more plumbing, you're in business longer. Now, instead of 100, you have 200 customers in your database. And now maybe instead of those 5, now you have 10, you know. And then the next year you have 300 customers that you have. So now you have 15 jobs a month, you know. And that's how basically I am right now, where you do this long enough, you have your customer base where you have around 300-500 customers, and not all of them need plumbing work, but that's how, like, you survive the slow season, where you're not paying for Google ads, because Google ads, you're not paying for leads because no one knows you. So you survive through the years of business and not buying crazy amount of debt. You don't know how many people I see go buy a brand new fucking truck. And I was like, dude, can you even afford this? Like, when times are good, everyone could afford a brand new truck. But when times are bad, you're like, fuck. That's where everyone's car is getting repoed because they're like, oh yeah, I'm always gonna have my job. Like I have 2 cars paid off. The only one that's not paid off is this one right now, and it sucks. Like if you get a month, like even like I tell people like, dude, 50 grand is not a lot of money, and people they trip out because they're like 50 grand life changing money for business owners like me. 50 grand is like not even like 2 to 3 months of survival mode. If I'm slow for 2 to 3 months, 50 grand is boof gone. Bye. And that's what people don't understand, where even if you do save your money and save up like 30, 40 grand, you're only getting yourself like 30 days of runway, unless you have crazy amount of like reserves. But then you're like, what am I gonna do with this reserve? Might as well keep growing or reinvesting. And that, like I said, happens when you have you the good months and the good years. You buy all these nice trucks, and you're one of the best part is like, okay, let's say I get for the next fucking 4 months where I'm completely sold, 0 new customers, 0 money coming in. You know, now I'm in the whole 50, 60 grand because I still got to pay all this, I still got to pay all that, and then now I got to recoup the money. And then I start missing this van payment. They'll come and take this van, but since I have already other cars paid off, then I can still operate. And that's one of the biggest things that people don't understand. Is like just actually owning stuff and not growing too fast. Because I learned that lesson on my second year. Well, it was my first year. I grew too fast. I'm like, hell yeah. Like, actually, this year is finally the year that I caught up to my first year. Because in my first year, I was like hitting it hard. I was like, fuck yeah, this is easy. I'm a licensed contractor. Then I fucking ate it. And then I was like, fuck. Like, this is not. Now I've been like slowly, steady. And I'm glad like I've been at this caution mode. Because other people, I see everyone. And I'm like, I'm seeing the numbers. It's fucked up for everyone. But luckily, like I said, this is the worst case scenario. I get back in the plumbing vehicle and I plumb, and then I could survive. And it kind of sucks going back, but I'm not going back. Like I said, it's just today's just one of those rare days where I'm actually the one that drives, plumbs, and does everything. But this is actually the days that I actually make the most fucking money, and that's why I really don't worry about stuff. But I've been trying to stick into profit mode right now. But trust me, you don't want to do this shit. I know everyone has a dream of like starting their own plumbing business, but you should go watch Business Turnaround with Mike Andes. You'll see like motherfuckers that have 20 vehicles, 30, and they're on the outside it looks badass. Like, hell yeah, these guys are making money. Even the big fucking private equity guys. That's one of the biggest advantage I have, being in my industry for so long and making these fucking videos. People hit me up, or I know my guys that work at bigger commercial jobs, and I kind of know what's going on with the industry. They're like, yeah, these guys are not making any money. They're just blowing through their private equity loans. And because I look at them, I'm like, how the fuck do you guys even make money? Or how the fuck do you even get customers? And most of the time, or how the fuck do you guys not get callbacks? This is the type of work you guys are doing. And they do. And that's the thing, they're not building actually like plumbing company. But yeah, this is my little rampage of the morning of starting your own plumbing company and how it is.